Doris with All the Books, and I am here with my BookTube birthday Q&A. Today is 1 year since I started BookTube. Very exciting. So I asked for questions and you guys delivered. Wow, there's like over 30 here and they're great, and I'm going to try to answer as many as I can, and definitely not all in one video because I like to keep my videos around the 12-minute mark. I'll push 15 if I need to, but you know, so just a little at a time, I guess. And let's just jump right in. Kendra Winchester asks, how fun! Here are a couple. How do you organize your bookshelves, and will you tell us about your cats, their names, ages, adoption story, etc.? So yes, my bookshelves, these are my red books behind us, behind me. And part of the fun of buying books and collecting them is the organization of them. I have always loved to organize anything, you know, shelves, craft supplies, whatever. I find great fun in organizing. So my books are categorized into little tiny genres that make sense to me. I have a bee book collection, a cat book collection, an Alice in Wonderland collection. I have my Asian lit, my World War II, my African American lit, my Bailey's Prize winners from this past year all together, things like that. I like grouping books into different little categories as best I can. And it's getting hard because this is the only bookshelf I have at the moment, but I'm planning on getting a real full-size mega bookshelf in 2018. So then I will have fun redoing it. It's going to be just a blast. Yes, all that space to organize and categorize just thrills my heart. And then I have a separate shelf of TBR books that really need some attention, but I'm trying to read it down, you know, this month, and then probably right around Christmas I'll reorganize that and maybe give you a tour. The cats, yes. So my first two cats as an adult, creatures that were mine to care for, were Chi-Chi and Pepito. And I got them the year before Gabriel was born, so they were a year old when Gabriel was born. And Pepito, Gabriel always said Pepito was his first best friend. Pepito unfortunately passed away 2 years ago. He had a cancerous growth on his shoulder that was inoperable. His sister is still with us. She is 15 now. Gabriel's 14. And she's a spry old thing. You don't see her in many of my videos because she's the type that likes to eat, sleep, and lick herself, basically. So she's not in the camera as often because she's not doing things that are, you know, things that you'd be interested in seeing more than once. The other two are young, so, you know, they're obviously full of mischief. So the little bitty one, the Siamese with the little bit of a tail, that is Bitty Boo is her name, and mostly I call her Boo or Boo Baby now, I guess. I have to have cutesy, endearing names that flow off the tongue, so it took me about 3 weeks to find a name that really stuck with her. Her original name was Sri Lanka. We got her from a pet adoption agency that specializes in kittens. And yeah, she actually came from New Orleans. I live in Tennessee. But the adoption agency, the woman works for an orthopedic surgeon, and so they get a lot of pets in that have broken legs. Because they know that they will try to set them instead of amputating. So, yes, Bitty Boo flew on a plane all by herself at 6 weeks old to Tennessee to get her leg set. And I was worried about adopting her, but you can tell she's pretty active. No problems. They assured me that she'd be fine, and she totally is. And then the other one, His name is Pico de Gallo, so we call him Pico or Guy. I call him Guy a lot. Gabriel calls him Pico all the time. His original name was Captain Picard, and that just really doesn't flow off the tongue, for me anyway. But we got him from the same pet adoption agency, and it's pretty obvious that Bitty Boo needed a playmate. Because Chi-Chi wasn't, she's not the type to want to play with a kitten. So we got her a little playmate. So Bitty Boo is, I'm guessing they were both born in March. So Bitty Boo is like a little over 1.5 years, and Pico is approaching 10 months, and he's really big. They suspect he might have a bit of Maine Coon. He's got the little fur between his toes and on the bottom. So anyway, they're adorable. Don't have a degree in reading says, what book has had the biggest impact on your life? I feel like I'm going to say To Kill a Mockingbird for so many of these questions, but that's the one book that I would say I've read it so many times that I have it practically, I do have it memorized. I can't memorize it rote, but when I'm reading it, I know what's coming next. And it doesn't matter how many times I read it, I still will cry and laugh every single time. Mary Crumpton, do you use BookTube in the classroom? And the answer to that is no. I haven't really researched if there are videos that I want to show my class, if that's what you're asking. And I definitely don't put my kids on film because I don't think that's appropriate. But I do use video, and thank you for reminding me. I definitely need to do this again. Last year, at the end of the year, you know, that filler time when you're slowing down, we did Greek mythology, and I had them pick, each group pick, I divided them into groups, and I had each group pick a play, well, not a play, a myth, and then they had to write a script from that myth and then act it out, and we videotaped them, and had the best time with that project. So thanks for reminding me. I definitely need to do that again. Pendra, I'm so sorry, Natchtule asks, are you eventually hosting your own readathon? I would love to participate. Maybe one day. I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it. I had a couple of thoughts of things I want to do next year, but I don't know if they would be readathons or more like just, I don't know, a reading idea or a tag or something. But yeah, that would be fun. I love readathons. Austin Brown, advice for starting a channel. It's overdone to say just go for it, but you do have to just go for it. And don't try too hard. I mean, I see so many people get so caught up in the technicalities of it, and it's really something that you just have to learn along the way, because you have to learn what you like doing and what you're good at, and what things that are interesting to you that you want to incorporate into your own videos. So yeah, you just have to jump right in there and try it out. And I'm being a little vague because there's another question later on that asks more specifics, so I'll get to this question in a roundabout way again soon. Mel's Bookland Adventures. If you were going on a European road trip, where would you go? I would come to see you, Mel, of course. Yeah, I think it would be so fun to go to the UK and, you know, one of those booktuber meetups over there. How cool would that be? But also, my family's heritage on both sides is from Norway. My brother's name is, his first name is Eckley, and my uncle's name was Eckley, and my grandfather as well was Eckley. And the story in the family is that Ekle is a surname in Norway, and that one branch of the family ran out of male heirs and named a daughter Ekle as a first name, and it passed down the line as a first name that way. And then my grandfather on the other side, his name was Gustavus Adolphus, and although he was from Germany, I think there might be some Norwegian heritage in that name as well. So, and my nephew fell in love with a Norwegian exchange student in high school and ended up marrying her, so I've got the Bente connection as well. So it would be great fun to go visit Norway at some point in time, just, you know, in the summer, because, you know, I don't like winter. Lizzie Reads asks, how did you get into or find BookTube? That is a funny question. So I had a crafting channel and was doing a lot of planning and journaling, and I started getting crossover videos from booktubers who had posted journaling videos. So Aprilius Maximus, who is a YA booktuber, a really big name in the YA side, she was the one that I have to thank for letting me find BookTube. And when I first did, I was like, where is this BookTube? Like, I thought it was a place, like, you know, I could find a listing. Oh dear, cats didn't even do that. I thought I could find a listing for it or somewhere, and eventually I just realized it was a concept. But yeah, thank you, April. Chapter 32. Well, I don't see, I'm missing something there. Book Talk 25. I think I only have time for this last page. You've mentioned you were big into fantasy when you were younger. What were your favorites? Tolkien is what introduced me to fantasy, and I got the box set of his 4 when I was 12 years old. And my brother-in-law had given me The Hobbit to read of his prior to Christmas that year. So that's why my mom got me the box set. So definitely Tolkien. I've read him so many times. And then the Shannara series. Was that Terry Brooks? The Elf Stones of Shannara and the Sword of Shannara and the Elf Song of Shannara. Oh, I read YA fantasy these days, and I just miss those epic quests for the pure goodness of the epic quest. You know what I mean? It's too much relationship stuff in fantasy these days, and I just miss the, you know, love of the quest. You know, I don't know. I do. Beth Knight, what are some of your favorite reading memories from childhood? When I think of my childhood, I think of my sister. She was 9 years older than me, and bless her heart, she had to share a room with me. And she's a type A personality, tidy to the nth degree, and I am a type, I don't know what, messy Marvin Packrat. So luckily she rubbed off on me, so I have learned a lot of organizational tidy skills from her. She got none of my messy, no, that didn't, no. But anyway, she had a great collection of classics that my granny had given her. So she had all 4 of the Little Women. She had all the Heidi books, stuff like Lassie Come Home. So many classics from her childhood era, and, you know, before, things that are popular with kids back in the day. I just love those memories of reading those and remembering that they were hers. My Bookish Empire. This is going to be so long. Shh, be quiet, go on. Why do you buy books? I know we all buy books to read them, but why specifically do you not use the library or borrow from friends? I buy most of my books too and find it fascinating why people buy what they buy. I thought this was a great question. I do use the library some, like I get audiobooks from my public library, and anytime I want to read a YA book, I get it from one of my high school libraries, simply because that's not something I collect. But as I mentioned before, I really like to collect things. It just gives me joy, and I don't spend a lot of my money on other hobbies and pursuits or interests, so I feel like it's okay. And I just like looking at my shelves. They make me happy to look at them and think about them and remember when I read them and why. And I also feel like good that I'm supporting the industry, you know. I feel like it needs to be supported. And one more, what BookTube channel do you watch most nowadays? This is by Book Cravings, who has a lovely channel herself. Was it Tall Tales? I found her recently. I'll link a couple below of new ones that I've found. Claire Reads has been dynamic lately. Her reviews are spot on, so definitely check her out. And I can't remember the new one that I just watched yesterday, but I'll leave those 3 below, so check them out. And I'm gonna stop now because I'm 16 minutes. Ugh. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye.